Hello, everyone. Welcome to the theory class. Today, we are going to be covering lesson 15. So before we get started, we're going to do our evaluation, which covers lesson 14. All right, here we go. Number 1, plant. Plant the tree. Number 2, hedge. He will trim the hedge tomorrow. Number 3, plaster. The plaster is coming off the wall. Number 4, tearful. She gave a tearful speech. Number 5, wheat. Is that wheat bread? Number 6, sadness. She showed so much sadness on the day of the funeral. Number 7, precede. The show will precede the dinner. Number 8, fearless. He is a fearless child. Number 9, listen. Listen to the rain. Number 10, watchfulness. The dog's watchfulness scared off the intruder. All right, so let's take a look at those. I'm going to point on my board here, my keyboard chart, and I want you to compare that with your notes and read your Steno notes and see how you did. All right, so number 1 is plant, P-L-A, final N-T. Number 2, hedge, H-E, final J. Number 3, plaster, P-L-A-S, second stroke, T-E-R. So come back for T-E-R. Number 4, tearful, T-A-E-R, second stroke, come back for final F-L. You don't want to write it as F-U-L because it will transcribe as full, like I am full after dinner. All right, then we have wheat, W-H-A-E-T. So you want to write it as W-H. Sadness, number 6, S-A-D, final N-S, second stroke. So we've got 2 strokes with that one. Number 7, precede, P-R-E, second stroke, come back for S, long E-D. And just a reminder that the prefix pre is a short E. The only long E we use is when E is used by itself, like elude. So we don't want the software to think that it's the brief he, so we have to use a long E. And the same goes with the DE words. You have to use a long E so that the software does not think it's did he, okay? Then we have fearless, F-A-E-R, second stroke, come back for L-S. Listen, L, short I-S, second stroke, come back for E-N, listen. And number 10 is watchfulness, W-A-U, broad A, C-H, and then second stroke, final F-L, third stroke, final N-S. Okay, so again, if you struggled with that, I want you to go back and practice before you start lesson 15, okay, because we're always building from the previous lessons. All right, so if you did well on that, but maybe you missed one, that's okay. 2 or more, I would say go back and practice. So as long as you only missed maybe 1, then or hopefully none at all. You're going to move on now to lesson 15. We're going to cover that now. Okay. All right. So today we are going to learn our final V. So words that have the final V is written with the final FB. And the way we write that is with our right hand using our index and middle finger. My index is going to hit the final F. My middle finger is going to hit the B, FB, okay? That's how we write words that have the final V. So let's look at some of our words. In 15.1, it says new letter, final V is going to be our final FB, okay? So the first word we have is rove. Rove. So that's going to be written as R long O F B. And this is a great example of why we need to keep our fingernails short. If you have long nails, it's going to really, your nails, you're going to find that your fingers are going to slip off those keys. All right. Cove, K long O F B. Live, L short I F B. So we do have the word live, which is spelled the same way. So depending on how it's used in the sentence is the way that you're going to write it. Okay, in this case, it's a short I, so we're going to assume it's live. All right, shave, S-H long A F B. Love, L-O F B. Stove, S-T long O F B. Prove. Now let's look at the word prove. Prove has an oo sound, but it's spelled with an O, so we're going to use our O. Prove is P-R-O-F-B. Now, if you have the word proof, like give me proof, that's spelled O-O, so we would use our A-O. So just remember that this A-O here is not a sound, it's not a sound term. It's more of, or a rule, I should say. It's a spelling rule. So the only time we use the AO is if we have the OO spelling, okay? So because prove is not spelled OO, even though it has a oo sound, that's why we don't use the AO, okay? So prove that you are 21 years old. That would be written as P-R-O-F-B, or final V. Now, if I say give me proof, because that's spelled P-R-O-O-F, that would be written as P-R-A-O-F. Okay, so that's the difference between prove and proof. It's a spelling rule. Hive, H long I, final V, F-B. Sieve. Now, sieve is a short I, S, short I, F-B. Weave, W-A-E-F-B. There's our spelling rule. For any word that's spelled E-A, we're going to use the A-E, weave. Shove. Now, shove, it sort of has like a short U sound, but it's spelled with an O, so we're going to keep the spelling. Shove, S-H-O, final V. Wove, W long O, F-B. Rave, R long A, final V. Okay, hove. Hove is the past tense for heave. Hove, H long O, final V. Crave, K-R long A, final V. Pave, P long A, final V. Strive, S-T-R, S-T-R, long I, final V. Strive. Give, initial G, short I, final V. Mauve, M-A-U, final V. There's our broad A. That's actually spelled with the A-U, and it has an aw sound, so we're going to write it with the A-U. Leave, leave me alone, L-A-E, final V. Save, S long A, final V. Move, M-O, final V. Again, it has kind of a oo sound, but it's spelled with an O, so we're writing it with an O, okay? Move, M-O, final V. Glove, G-L-O, final V. Drive, D-R, long I, final V. Drove, D-R, long O, final V. Grave, G-R, long A, final V. Brave, B-R, long A, final V. Grove, initial G, R, long O, final V. Clove, K-L, long O, final V. Heave, H-A-E, final V. Dove, now let's talk about dove. Over in section 15, let's see here. Section 15, 5, you're going to learn the brief do have. Do have is going to be written as D-O, final V, but that conflicts with dove. So we are going to flag dove, D-O with the flag, final V. Okay, and the reason being is because do have is going to come up more often than the word dove. So if I were you, I would flag it with my left index finger, D-O with the flag FB. Okay, your left index finger is going to be available, so that to me is going to be the easiest way to flag dove. Okay, and again, we do that so it doesn't conflict with do have. So feel free to write yourself a note if that helps you to remember. Then we have jive, initial J, long I, final V. Dive, D, long I, final V. All right. 15.2, sentence drill. Line 1, did you rave about it in a rag? Notice that all of our phrases are underlined, so that means we have to phrase it. No, comma, but I will rave and rave, period. Notice the comma there, so you want to strike your final RBGS because there is a comma in the sentence. He did rave about the loss, period. I would love to see Kate, period. Don't forget, if we've got a proper name, we need to flag it if it's only one syllable. So that's going to be written as K, long A, with the flag T, Kate. I would love to see Ted, period. Ted is flagged. I would love to see Ross, period. Again, we're going to flag Ross because it's only one syllable. Any proper names that are one syllable have to be flagged. Now, if they're more than one syllable, we don't have to flag it. Okay, line 3, do not push and shove, period. Now, we can phrase do not, D-O-N, because the name Don, D-O-N, would be flagged. So it's an example of why we have to flag all of our proper names that are one syllable. Shove the car to the edge, period. I will try to shove her, period. Shove, S-H-O, final V. Line 4, use coal in the stove, period. The stove is very hot, period. We need to buy a new stove, period. And new, N-E-W, is written just as N-U. Line 5, can you pave the way in a rag? I will try to pave the way, period. He will pave the road today, period. And just a reminder, road is going to be written as R-A-O-D, that road, so that we don't have a conflict with I rode my bike, which is written as R long O-D for the word R-O-D-E. Okay. Line 6, I can teach you to weave, period. The rug has a tight weave, period. Tight is going to be written as T long I-G-T. That's our GHT word, one of our GHT words, so we're going to write it with the GT. Would you teach me to weave in a rag? Line 7, I crave hot fudge, period. I crave good food, period. Don't forget our brief for good is initial G, okay. Dawn would crave lemon pie, period. Dawn is going to be flagged, D-O with the flag, final N. Line 8, is the ship in the cove in a rag? It is to the right of the cove, period. Look for shelter in the cove, period. Line 9, give the clove to Steve, period. Steve is flagged, S-T long E with the flag, final V. Strive to be brave, period. The dove will move from the grove, period. Again, we want a flag dove, D-O with the flag, final V, so it doesn't conflict with do not. Okay? Or I'm sorry, do have. D-O, final V is do have. Sorry about that. I'm thinking of dawn and do not. Same concept. Okay, so we have to flag dove so it doesn't conflict with do have, which we're going to cover in the next in a couple of sections from now. All right, line 10. It will dive from the hive, period. He will leave and drive, period. Save the mauve glove, period. Now, section 15.3 are special outlines. If you notice in line 1, we've got wave and wave. The first wave is not going to be flagged because that word wave is going to come up more often than wave your hand, okay? So you're going to hear wave your rights a lot more than you're going to hear wave goodbye, okay? Think of it as you're going to be a court reporter, you're in the law field, and you're going to hear that often. Do you want to waive your rights? Did you waive your rights? They waived their rights. So that one is not flagged. So that's going to be written as W, long A, final V, wave, W-A-I-V-E. Then we have wave, W-A-V-E. I rode the wave back to shore. That one is flagged. W, long A, with the flag, final V. Okay, I would use my left index finger. Now, here's a hint. You can write this down. To wave a flag gets a flag. So to wave a flag gets a, you have to have a flag to wave the flag, right? So you can write that little hint down. To wave a flag gets a flag, okay? All right, line 2. These are known as squeezes. So you're going to be introduced to different squeezes throughout theory and once you get into speeds. A squeeze is simply not really considered a brief, but we're squeezing the word so that we only have to write it in one stroke. So look at the first word, belief. His belief is different than mine, belief. We're going to squeeze the B-L, long E-F, belief, okay? Then we've got believe. What do you believe? That's going to be written as B-L, long E, final V, believe. So that's the difference between belief and believe. One uses just the F. Believe is going to use, we're going to use the final V, okay? So those are called squeezes. You can make yourself a little note. These two words are known as squeezes. Okay. Section 15.4, we have a practice drill. He will waive the right to sue. He did waive any help. He will waive his trial. None of those are flagged. Line 2, all of those are going to be flagged. Wave your hand at him. So you can write a little asterisk above the A if that helps you. She will wave at you, wave to them. So to wave a flag gets a flag. Okay, in order to wave a flag, you have to have a flag. So that's kind of your little hint there. To wave a flag gets a flag. Now, line 3, the belief is, or excuse me, the belief about it is true. Her belief about him is right. His belief is his own. Line 4, can you believe him, interrog? Do you believe it is true, interrog? I believe in you, period. And I have had students in the past ask me if we can phrase in you. We cannot, because it would, in you would conflict with the word new. N-E-W is written as N-U. So that's why we can't phrase in you. All right. Section 15.5, we've got some new briefs and phrases. We have regular. Regular is written as R-E-G. Okay. Then we have advertise. T, short I, final Z. That's a short I. Okay, you can write a little note there if you need to. Satisfy, S-A-F, satisfy. Now, have in phrases only, because we already know have is going to be our initial V, which is SR, right? But in phrases only, we have you have, U, final V. We have, WE, final V. Did have, initial D, final V. Would have, WO, final V. Should have, SH, final V. To have, TO, final V. Will have, initial L, final V. I have, short I, final V. Do have, DO, final V. All right, and do have. We talked about dove. Do have is the exact reason why we have to flag dove. Do have is DO, final V. So there's a conflict there. So we're going to flag dove. Okay, section 15.6. We have a sentence drill. If you look at line 3, it says, do you want to have a job in Iraq? You have the choice as to how you want to write want. Want is spelled W-A-N-T. So if you want, you can just write it as W-A-N-T. But also it has the broad A sound. So you also can write it as W-A-U-N-T. That is your choice. It's up to you. You can write yourself a little note there. You can either write it like it's spelled, W-A-N-T, or you can use the broad A, W-A-U-N-T. I hear the AU, so I like to just continue to keep it, continuous as to that rule, and I write it with the broad A. But again, it's up to you. All right, line 4. We have read the paper. Just a little reminder, the brief for papers, P long A P, pape. We have to repay the loan, period. Loan is a long O, L, long O, final N. I see sometimes I'll see students write it with the AO, but it's not loon. That would be the word loon. Loan, long O. And repay, you're going to just use a short E there for the prefix re. Okay. Line 6, second sentence, the company did have a debt. Debt is written as D-E-T. It's a silent B. Line 7, second sentence, use a regular bread. Use is going to be long U, Z. It's not use a regular bread. Use. Line 10, Jan will have hot fudge, period. Fudge is written as F-U, final J, fudge. Line 11, second sentence, I have to believe him. There's our squeeze, believe, B-L, long E, final V. Line 12, you have to prove it, P-R-O, final V, prove. Line 13, I do have to go. That's written as D-O-V. Okay, second sentence, you do have to do it, D-O-V. Again, that's why we flagged dove. Section 15.7, we've got new consonant compounds. Today, we're going to focus on words that start with the initial BL, kind of like the believe and belief words, and the final LT words. Okay, let's look at some of these words. Blip, B-L, short I-P. Blob, blob, B-L-O-B. It has an O sound, but it's spelled with an O, so we're going to keep it with the O. Blow, B-L, long O. Blood, B-L, here's our O-O. So we've got a spelling rule here. We're going to use our A-O-D. Black, B-L-A, final K. Bleak, B-L-A-E, final K. Blab, B-L-A-B. Bled, B-L-E-D. Blue, that's going to be a short U, B-L, short U, blue. And then we have blue, the wind blew. That one is going to be written as B-L, long U. Okay, so the color blue is a short U. And then the wind blew would be a long U, B-L, long U. So make a note of that. Blue and blue. The color blue is the short U. Okay, then we have blog, B-L-O-G. Again, it's kind of an aw sound, but it's spelled with an O, so we keep it with an O. Blur, B-L-U-R. Blair, B-L, long A-R. Bloat, B-L, long O-T. Bleed, B-L, long E-D. Blush, B-L-U-S-H. Bliss, B-L, short I-S. Bluff, B-L-U-F. Blend, B-L-E-N-D. Bleep, B-L, long E-P. Bless, B-L-E-S. Bleb, a bleb is a blister. Okay, bleb, B-L-E-B. Bleb. Blaze, B-L, long A, final Z. Blaze. Blurt, B-L-U-R-T. Blonde, B-L-O-N-D. Blonde. Then we have words that end with final L-T. Welt, W-E-L-T. Felt, F-E-L-T. Colt, K long O-L-T. Colt. So we've got colt and colt. So, of course, the second colt is like the colt is evil, or she got sucked into the cult. That's going to be written just like it's spelled, K-U-L-T. Okay. Wilt, W-I-L-T. Silt. Now, silt is like fine sand or clay, S-I-L-T. Halt, H-A-U-L-T. It's spelled with the A-U, and it even has the aw sound, so that makes it easy. Salt, S-A-U-L-T, broad A. Belt, B-E-L-T. Melt, M-E-L-T. Tilt, T-I-L-T. Bolt, B-long-O-L-T. Malt, M-A-U-L-T. Volt, initial V, initial V, long O-L-T. Volt. Jolt, initial J, long O-L-T. Holt, that's like a den of an animal such as an otter. Holt. H, long O-L-T. Holt. Then we have gilt, initial G, short I-L-T. Kilt, K-I-L-T. Kilt. Delt, D-A-E-L-T. Dolt. Dolt is like a stupid person. D, long O-L-T. Jilt, that's to leave or to break up. It's like a rejection, especially from like a lover. Like he will jilt her at the altar. That is written as initial J, I-L-T, jilt. Okay. Lilt, that's a cheerful tune. Lilt, L-I-L-T, lilt. Fault, F-A-U-L-T. Quilt, K-W, short I-L-T. Vault, V-A-U-L-T. All right. Now looking over in section 15.8, we've got practice sentences using these new briefs and our new consonant compounds. It says here, her leg is black and blue. So just a reminder, the color blue is BL short U. Okay. The second sentence, second line, I should say, second sentence over. It says use a blotter for the blood. Blotter is B-L-O-T, second stroke, E-R, blotter. And then the third sentence over, a blister is a bleb. Blister is going to be written as B-L-I-S, second stroke, T-E-R, blister. Okay. Let's see, line 3 and 4 look great. Line 5, Second sentence says, I have a bleb on my foot. Don't forget, we just learned I have, and we've got I, final V. I have a bleb on, the brief for on is O, on my foot. And my is a pronoun, so it's going to be short I, M-I, on my foot. Looking down in line 7, it says, she said Ray was a dolt. Ray is flat. It's a proper name that's one syllable. Was is going to be written as W-A-Z. Was. It's not written with an S. It's not was. Second sentence there, it says, by the bolt of linen. By is going to be B, long I. The bolt of linen. Linen is L, short I, N. Come back, second stroke, E-N. Linen. Third sentence, the basin is full of silt. Basin, B, long A-S. Second stroke, come back for I-N. Basin. Line 8. Tilt the game to the side, period. Second sentence, it will wilt in the sun, period. Sun is written just like it's spelled, S-U-N. Line 9, it is all my fault. All is a broad A, so that's written as A-U-L, all. My is going to be a short I, M-I, or a pronoun. Fault, and that's a broad A. Fault is a broad A. Line 10, second sentence over, it says, you can eat a malt, period. Eat is going to be written as A-E-T. Got the E-A reversal there. You have the word ate. I ate dinner. That would be a long A-T. So that's the difference between eat and ate. Okay, malt, M-A-U-L-T. Use salt on the food. Salt, S-A-U-L-T. On the can be phrased O, final T. Food, F-A-O-D. We've got our O-O spelling rule, so we're going to use the A-O. And that is the last section of chapter 15. So I'm going to stop this recording, and once you have completed that at least 3 times, preferably 4, then you will move on to the read back portion of lesson 15. We'll see you soon.